students, we are continuing with equations and slopes and stuff. So yesterday we learned about parallel and perpendicular slopes. So what do you know about the slopes of parallel lines? We know the slopes of parallel lines are the same. They are the same. What do you know about the slopes of perpendicular lines? They are opposite reciprocals. So if they're positive, now they're negative. If they're negative, they're positive. Okay, so you're going to write these examples down in your notes so you have something to reference today, okay? Okay, we're going to go. Okay, so it says write the equation of the line described in slope-intercept form. Okay, it's going to have to go through this ordered pair. We'll call this x1, y1, and it's got to be parallel to this. And that has a slope of 8/1. Okay, so the slope of the line parallel is 8 or 8/1. I'm just going to start with 8. And remember, that is m, that's my slope. Now, we're going to write it in point slope form. Remember, point slope form is this. Okay, so I'm going to put the y by the y, the slope, then the x by the x. And I'm getting that stuff here and there. And now I'm going to change it to slope-intercept form. Same thing you did before the last test. I'm going to do the keep change there as well. So this is really y plus 4. This is 8x plus 8 when I distribute. And then I'm going to minus 4 from both sides. And I'm going to get y equals 8x plus 4. And that's the equation of the line through the ordered pair -1, 4, and is parallel to the equation y equals 8x. Parallel, that's for parallel. Write it down, pause the video, write it down. Okay, I'm going on, so hopefully it's all written down. Now, same thing here. So we're going to write it in point slope form through the point. Since it's parallel, it's the same slope. So y minus my y equals my slope. That's the same, x minus my x. Okay, then I'm going to distribute y minus 2 equals -1/2 x plus a negative times a negative is a positive 2. Then I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I have -1/2 x plus 4. And that's the equation of the line through the point 4, 2, and parallel to the equation y equals -1/2 x minus 1. Okay, let's do another one. Again, here's my points, x1, y1, and that's my slope. So y minus my y equals my slope, x minus the x value. Remember, make it over 1 if you need to. Distribute y minus 2 equals 7/3 times x plus, if you put that in your calculator, it becomes -21/3, which is actually just -7. And then I'm going to add 2, and I get y equals 7/3x plus a -5. Okay, so that's when we have parallel. If you want, I'm going to do another one. You can fast forward through if you want. So again, through this point, so y by the y, my slope is the same, x is by the x. Be careful, x's, y's. Okay, do the keep change, distribute. So we have y minus 2 equals 2/3 times x plus, I'm going to put this over 1, top times the top, bottom times the bottom. Okay, if you want to, you could say 4/3 is the same as 1 1/3. So when I add 2 to both sides, I get 2/3 x plus 3 1/3. Okay. Now, the only difference for perpendicular is you're still going to use the slope or a point, but you're going to use the opposite reciprocal slope. So the slope is 1/7, but the slope of the perpendicular line is -7/1, or just -7 to make it easy. If it's a whole number, use it if you can. Now I'm still going to use that point, but now I'm going to use the opposite reciprocal slope. It was positive, now it's negative, and you got to flip-flop. Okay, so the y goes by the y. I use my perpendicular slope. The x goes by the x. Okay, I'm going to do the keep, change, and now I do exactly the same. Okay, that becomes plus 3. That's a -7x, and this is a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so the only thing you really have to remember is perpendicular, opposite reciprocal, parallel, same, and make sure you're reading carefully. And you do the same exact thing then, okay? Gonna do some more. So think, this is my slope. Perpendicular though, I wanna use the opposite, so it's a negative, and flip-flop it. Now I can't make that into a nice whole number, so I have to leave it as a fraction. I still use this point. So I do y minus the y. Now it's going to be my new slope, x minus the x. Okay? So that becomes y plus 4 equals, now I'm going to distribute, -1/4 x. A negative times a negative is a positive, and that's actually 1. But when I minus 4, be careful. That becomes a -3. Okay? Okay. Or a -3, same thing. Okay, if you want to do one more, if not, go to the next slide. So the slope of this is -2, but it's really -2/1. So for my perpendicular slope, I need it flip-flopped, and now from negative to a positive. So that's the slope I'm going to use, and these are the points. So y minus my y equals my slope, x minus my x. And again, I'm going to do that keep, change. Okay, so that's really y plus 5. I have a 1/2 times x, and 1/2 times 1 is in fact 1/2. You could change it to 0.5 if you want, just as long as it's not the slope you're changing to 0.5. And then I have 1/2 x, and this is actually becomes a -4.5. So in your calculator, just do 1/2 minus 5, and your calculator will give you the right answer, okay? Okay, so you have, if you want to do any more, you can. Oops, sorry. If not, sorry, I didn't put this down. So you are going to do your worksheet for today. Okay. Then we're going to check it first. And that's in Schoology. I think we're good. If you want to do that top one, message me and I'll do it for you personally. And then finally, you're going to do the daily formative. Okay? So do your worksheet, check it in Schoology, do the daily formative. If you want to do this one, we can meet and we can go through it step by step. Okay? Okay. Have a great day. Let me know if you need any more help.